Hello everyone and welcome to our YouTube project. We would like to present the hype cycle formulated by the Gartner Group and use a few minutes to explain what the model is about and then compare emerging technologies in 2013 to 2014. We have drawn the hype cycle. As mentioned, it was formulated by the Gartner Group. On the horizontal axis we have the time. On the vertical axis, we have expectations. And in summary, the model shows how the expectations for a given technology develops over time. As you can see, the hype cycle consists of 5 different phases. The first one being innovation trigger, followed by peak of inflated expectations, then comes through of disillusionment, followed by slope of enlightenment, and finally plateau of productivity. In general, it shows how a technology emerges and how expectations increases as it is introduced. Then the increasing publicity results in the product or technology being overhyped, and testing and implementation often fails during this phase, leading to highly decreasing expectations of the product. And then the expectations once again start increasing when the technology is improved, often through second or third generation versions of the technology. And here, in the final plateau of productivity, the technology is found to start solving a business problem and can be utilized in a general market context. We will now try to show how Gartner's hype cycle can be used in practice. We will focus on a few emerging technologies just to keep it simple. The technologies are 3D bioprinting, big data, wearable user interfaces, cloud computing, virtual reality, and location intelligence. These technologies are characterized by a high level of publicity, and most are found relevant for human-computer interaction. Here we have illustrated how these technologies are placed within the hype cycle by Gartner. The point of departure is Gartner's own assessment of the level of expectations for these particular technologies in 2013. As you can see, 3D bioprinting was considered to be in the initial state of maturity. Both big data and wearable user interfaces were at the top of the hype cycle in 2013. The expectations to these technologies were as high as they could get, mainly due to the extensive media coverage. In the phase of through the disillusionment, we find cloud computing and virtual reality. The market had high expectations for both technologies, but according to Gartner, they both failed to meet these expectations. Lastly, we see location intelligence, which, relative to the others, is the technology that is the most mature. According to Gartner, this technology was at the end of slope of enlightenment. Now, to show you how technologies mature and move along the hype cycle, we have illustrated where we believe the given technologies are placed in July 2014. It is important to note that this is our own subjective opinion towards the technologies presented. As the figure now illustrates, the expectations for 3D printing are rising, but the technology is still in the initial phase of the hype cycle. The opposite is considered to be true for big data and wearable user interfaces. We argue that the expectations have started to fall for both technologies. The main reason for the drop is the lack of successful utilization of these technologies. A funny quote by Dan Ariely beautifully expresses how the hype of big data does not live up to the actual benefits of the technology at this moment. He states, "Big data is like teenage sex. Everyone talks about it. Nobody really knows how to do it. Everyone thinks everyone else is doing it, so everyone claims they're doing it." In regards to virtual reality, we believe that the technology has moved into the enlightenment phase. For the first time ever, an actual working version of the virtual reality technology has been developed by the company Oculus VR. Furthermore, Facebook's recent acquisition of Oculus VR indicates the increasing market potential of this technology. When it comes to cloud computing, we now see that both private users and small and medium-sized enterprises are starting to adopt the technology in a larger scale than last year. We therefore consider the technology to be past the throe of disillusionment, and it has now moved onto the slope of enlightenment towards a more realistic level of productivity and expectations in the market. Finally, we believe that location intelligence has matured to a state where the technology has reached mainstream adoption. Numerous applications are using local intelligence, and the broader market understands the applicability and value of the technology. That's all we had. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video. We hope you found it useful and that you now know a little more about what the hype cycle is and what it can be used for. Thank you. Stay classy.